Hi guys, welcome to our channel, Top 5 1.
New iPhone 12 release date, price, specs and leaks. The iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro promise the biggest update in years. Here's what we know so far. The new iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro promise the biggest changes to Apple's flagship phones in years. The iPhone 12 will reportedly drop the existing design for an all-new look, as well as add 5G connectivity across the range, Apple's highly anticipated A14 Bionic processor and, for the Pro set specifically, litter cameras. The 120Hz displays for the Pro models are in limbo based on leaks. While we probably won't see the iPhone 12 in September like we typically do with new iPhone releases, rumors and leaks have painted a pretty full picture of what to expect from Apple's upcoming handsets, including their release dates, prices and specs. The iPhone 12 is expected to come in 4 models: the 5.4-inch iPhone 12, 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Max, 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro, and 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max. All 4 are expected to tout a design that harkens back to the iPhone 5's flat machined edges, along with a possibly slimmer notch. Here's everything we know so far about the new iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. The best phones you can buy now. iPhone 12 versus iPhone 11, the biggest changes to expect. The iPhone 12 Pro could launch with a 120Hz display, but a new leak says that Apple may not be able to pull off the feature in time because of missing hardware. The release of the iPhone 12 is rumored to also bring the end of the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone XR, as well as a price reduction for the iPhone 11. A new leak reveals how Apple is cutting costs on the batteries for the iPhone 12, which could result in a more affordable price for you. Although new iPhones typically launch in September, multiple reports have pointed to a delayed release date for the iPhone 12. During an Apple earnings call, Chief Financial Officer Luca Maestri noted that last year's iPhone 11 shipped in September, but added, this year, the supply of the new product will be a few weeks later than that. That would seemingly point to an October release, which is what leaker John Prosser has said. Prosser also claims that the 2 iPhone 12 Pro models will arrive in November, so it would be a staggered launch. The iPhone 12 price seems to be a moving target. The most recent leak from @Komiya_KJ on Twitter says that the 5.4-inch iPhone 12 will start at $699 for 64 GB. The 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Max have a $799 price for the same amount of storage. However, it's possible that the pricing could be cheaper should Apple decide to sell 4G LTE-only versions. The above pricing would be for 5G models of the iPhone 12. In fact, one iPhone 12 price report claims that Apple will release a 4G LTE iPhone 12 in early 2021, according to a research note from Wedbush Securities. Previously, analyst John Prosser said that the 5.4-inch iPhone 12 with 2 rear cameras will start at $649, which would be quite affordable at $50 less than the iPhone 11. The iPhone 12 Max with a 6.1-inch screen would cost $749. There could be a surprise 5th model of the iPhone 12, according to Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives, which would be even cheaper than the $649 entry-level iPhone 12. However, this more affordable iPhone 12 would miss out on 5G. The iPhone 12 Pro, which would have 3 rear cameras plus a litter sensor, may start at $999 or $1,049. The iPhone 12 Pro could also feature a 120Hz promotion display, but that's not a lock quite yet. Last but not least, the iPhone 12 Pro Max would feature a 6.7-inch display and cost $1,099 or $1,149 to start. Since a forecast from analyst Ming Kai Kuo last year, we've known that 4 different iPhone 12 models are on tap for 2020, one at 5.4 inches, 2 at 6.1 inches and the largest variant measuring 6.7 inches. All 4 2020 iPhones will have 5G, Kuo says. These four phones are also expected to incorporate OLED displays, which would mark a change for Apple. Like the iPhone XR before it, the iPhone 11 features an LCD display instead of an OLED panel. Here's a closer look at what to expect from each iPhone 12 model, as detailed by a report from Display Supply Chain CEO Ross Young. iPhone 12, look for the entry-level iPhone 12 to feature a 5.4-inch OLED panel with rumored resolution of 2340 by 1080. Young expects the display to feature Y-Octa technology, which means that the touch sensor is integrated directly into the display. In terms of other hardware, the iPhone 12 is expected to feature an A14 processor, 4GB of RAM and a choice between 128GB and 256GB of storage. Like the iPhone 11, this model will rely on dual rear cameras, losing the telephoto in the Pro variants. The iOS 14 beta has essentially confirmed the 5.4-inch model of the iPhone 12, as the display zoom accessibility feature now supports panels with the iPhone 12's resolution. iPhone 12 Max, this 6.1-inch iPhone will feature the same hardware as the standard iPhone 12, A14 processor, 4GB of RAM, 128GB or 256GB of storage and dual rear cameras. The biggest difference will be the screen and battery size, both of which will see increases. The iPhone 12 Max will have a larger flexible 6.1-inch OLED panel with 2532 by 1170 resolution. iPhone 12 Pro, the 6.1-inch flexible OLED on this model could be the first phone to feature 10-bit color support, according to Young. It will feature a 2532 by 1170 resolution along with Y-Octa technology. There's a chance this phone's screen could support a 120 Hz refresh rate, though rumors have gone back and forth on that front over the last several months. Expect 6GB of RAM in this A14-powered model with storage options ranging from 128GB to 512GB. The Pro series is rumored to feature 3 rear lenses, highlighted by a 6.4MP main sensor, plus a lidar time-of-flight sensor that will improve performance of iPhone R apps. iPhone 12 Pro Max, expect the same RAM, storage and camera features as the iPhone 12 Pro, only with a bigger 6.7-inch OLED panel. Resolution could be 2778 by 1824, and a 120 Hz refresh rate is a possibility here too. If you're wondering how all four rumored iPhone 12 models compare, Jon Prosser shared a graphic on Twitter back in April showing the four models and their key specs. A better look at how the different sizes compare comes in a YouTube video by iUpdate that shows relatively high-quality iPhone 12 dummy units in 3 different sizes, and compares how they fit in people's hands. So what will the new iPhones look like? All 4 iPhone 12 models are expected to bring back the flat metal edge design of the iPhone 5, according to Bloomberg. This design change will also bring the iPhone lineup closer to the iPad Pro 2020. The most interesting variant should be the 5.4-inch iPhone 12, which has been leaked via a purchased dummy unit. It's even smaller than the 4.7-inch iPhone 7, despite having a larger display. And it's not significantly larger than the original 4-inch iPhone SE. If you're confused as to why the rear cameras and notches look unchanged from the iPhone 11 range, the simple reason is that these finer design details often aren't accounted for in dummy units, because they're usually not important to the construction of accessories. However, an image by Twitter leaker Komiya shows what could be the final design for the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max. This includes a notch up front and a square camera array that tucks in a smaller lidar sensor than what's found on the iPhone 12 Pro. As it happens, it's been rumored that Apple will downsize the notch by a considerable margin in its upcoming phones. Jon Prosser leaked schematics indicating as much back in April. Prosser followed up in early August, saying that the smaller notch is mostly confirmed. However, Prosser didn't offer any indication of how much smaller the new notch will be. We've only heard a handful of rumors on the color front, but it's a safe bet that Apple will likely follow the same pattern of the last couple iPhone launches. That means a greater quantity of colors for the less expensive iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Max, while the iPhone 12 Pro models will adopt darker, more traditional color schemes such as space gray and silver with more of a premium-seeming finish to them. At least one rumor says that Apple will spice things up by offering a blue color for the iPhone 12. The blue would replace the midnight green color offered on the iPhone 11 Pro and may be exclusive to the new Pro models. Concepts iPhone created a video showing off what a navy blue iPhone 12 Pro might look like, and Apple has published an even more recent mock-up of the iPhone 12 Pro in this new hue. A report from Nikkei says that all iPhone 12 models will ship with support for 5G networks, but there's some disagreement as to whether all models will support both types of 5G, sub-6 GHz as well as millimeter wave (mm wave). While leaker John Prosser agrees that all 4 iPhone 12 models will ship with 5G support, the 5.4-inch iPhone 12 and 6.1-inch iPhone the 12th of May not employ mm wave technology, which offers the fastest download speeds. Instead, these more affordable devices would feature only sub-6 GHz 5G, which reaches much further than mm wave. 5G in this lower band offers longer range but slower data rates than mm wave technology, which can reach up to 2 gigabits per second. The iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max will reportedly offer mm wave and sub-6 GHz 5G, giving shoppers the best of both worlds. Verizon 5G is focusing, at least initially, on mm wave, which delivers the fastest speeds but requires line-of-sight view to a small cell or node for service. DigiTimes had backed up the report that only the iPhone 12 Pro models would offer both mm wave and sub-6 GHz, but a new report from the publication claims that all 4 iPhone 12 models will feature wide 5G support. That means the iPhone 12 and 12 Max would work on mm wave 5G, too. Given that Apple bought Intel's modem business last year, it's expected that Cupertino will eventually stop getting its 5G modems from Qualcomm and design its own modems in-house, the same way it does for its A-series processors. That won't happen in time for the new iPhone 12, though. The earliest we expect to see an iPhone with an Apple-built modem is 2021, though realistically it's probably more than 2 years away. A report in DigiTimes confirms that the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Max will have 2 rear cameras, and the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max will have 3 rear cameras plus a new lidar sensor. Given that the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max featured triple-lens rear cameras for the first time in Apple's hardware, we expect that to continue for the 2020 versions of the Pro iPhones. According to a separate report, the iPhone 12 will feature a new 7-part lens for the main camera, which would be an upgrade from the 6-part lens on the iPhone 11 series. The extra lens should result in better photo quality and reduced distortion. Meanwhile, the iPhone 12 Pro is all but certain to add that aforementioned lidar time-of-flight sensor. Analyst Ming-Kai Kuo expects it to be included on at least 2 iPhone 12 models, which would almost assuredly be the Pro versions. Subsequent reports on iPhone 12 specs have backed that claim. Expect the sensor to more accurately judge the distance between your phone and the object you're shooting. That will lead to better portrait shots, while also enabling more accurate object tracking and effects in those AR apps Apple is so keen on. One rumored use would let users point their iPhone 12 at items in Apple stores and Starbucks and see digital information appear on the phone's display. An Apple patent recently published by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and initially reported by Patently Apple offers some insight into how the time-of-flight lidar sensor inside the iPhone 12 Pro models will operate. The explanation is quite technical and doesn't go into potential use cases, however, meaning we'll likely learn what Apple has planned for these sensors, concerning photography, augmented reality and other use cases, when the company reveals its new iPhones in October. DigiTimes has also published claims that the next iPhone will employ sensor shift. This is a new kind of stabilization technology that works by detecting how the phone is moving, and then moving the camera sensors in the opposite direction using small actuators to keep your picture steady. Think of it as a more elaborate form of conventional optical image stabilization. In terms of video, Everything Apple Pro reports that the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max will be able to record 4K footage at 120 frames per second or 240 FPS. That would be an upgrade from the maximum 60 FPS available on the iPhone 11 range. Based on a patent filing, Apple is also working on a periscope-like telephoto lens that should provide a longer zoom range than previous iPhones. Apple is apparently trying to fit 5 lens and 3 lens arrays into a smaller space by using a prism to reflect light. However, a subsequent report citing analyst Ming-Kai Kuo says that Apple won't be adopting a periscope zoom until 2022. It's a foregone conclusion the iPhone 12 line will be powered by Apple's next-generation A14 Bionic chip. According to a report on the new 5nm processor made by TSMC, the CPU should provide a 15% performance boost while being 30% more efficient. And that's before Apple gets its hands on the chip. Another iPhone 12 A14 Bionic leak suggests that the iPhone 12 could be a lot more powerful, with tipster at Komiya predicting a whopping 40% improvement in CPU performance and a 50% boost in GPU performance compared to the A13 Bionic.